Sir, we will start because I have given to YouTube. Okay.
Okay, sir. Good evening. On behalf of Shri Kumarswami College, Ausa, I welcome all the honorable participants and dignitaries here on the virtual platform. Today, on the occasion of birth anniversary of Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi and former Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri, the college has organized a national level webinar. College is of Shri Kumarswami Shikshan Prasarak Mandal. The college has again started national webinar series after a long time. President Honorable Ghansoli Maharaj and the Secretary Honorable Girishji Patil are our patrons. The Chief Webinar and action is Honorable Principal Dr. M. Ambedkar sir. Today we all have gathered here on this virtual platform for the national level webinar on the topic Importance of Communication and Etiquette for Employability. At the outset of this national webinar, I welcome the presiding authority and chairman of this national level webinar, Honorable Dr. M. Ambedkar sir. Today I am very happy to inform all the participants that we have wonderful speaker, Dr. Radhika Wadhera ma'am from Rajiv Gandhi College of Management Studies, Ghansoli. On behalf of the college and organizing committee of this national level webinar, I heartily welcome you ma'am as an honorable speaker and chief guest for this national level webinar. I also welcome all honorable organizing committee members, Vice Principal Dr. S. P. Mishal sir, Dr. Garad sir, Accuracy Coordinator Dr. Sanjay Kali sir, Chillani sir, Dr. Anita Dhole ma'am, and other honorable members of the organizing committee. Today, Honorable Ma'am is going to enlighten us on the topic Importance of Communication and Etiquette for Employability. But before the commencement of the speech, I would like to invite Dr. Anita Dhole ma'am to introduce today's keynote speaker and chief guest. Welcome ma'am.
Thank you, sir. A very good evening to one and all. You are welcome to this grand national and international webinar series organized by Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya, Ausa. So first of all, I would like to thank a respected principal, Dr. Ambedkar MM, for giving me this opportunity to introduce a resource person on this virtual platform. Today's keynote speaker is Honorable Dr. Radhika Wadhera ma'am from Rajiv Gandhi College of Management Studies, Ghansoli. Title of speech is Importance of Communication and Etiquette for Employability. Dr. Radhika ma'am has completed PhD, MPhil, MBA, BCom, and she working as assistant professor. She is a marketing and HR coordinator. She grounds her interest in the areas of effective collaboration, power and influence, judgment and decision making. She specializes in strategies for continuous improvement, creative problem solving and innovative thinking. She stays connected to everyday priorities and challenges of the workplace and encourage students throughout their career. She is an author for various research papers in national and international research journals. She was the first researcher to publish her thesis on celebrity endorsements in social communication. She reviewed more than 30 research papers in the International Journal of Research and Publications. So, with this brief introduction, I request today's keynote speaker, Honorable Dr. Radhika ma'am, please start your presentation. Thank you. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much for a kind and humble introduction. I hope my voice is clear. Am I pretty audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Anita ma'am. Thank you, Radhika sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, so I know it is a time of festivity and it is Gandhi Jayanti too. So happy Gandhi Jayanti firstly and happy Saptami to all of you. I won't be keeping you here for a very long time, but I promise that at the end of the seminar, there will be takeaways that will be helping you to be a better teacher, to give something extra to your students. That is the promise in the initial stage that I would like to take, so that at the end of the webinar, you take something home. And if we can make it interactive, it will be better, because it is a learning platform where I'll be learning from you people and you will be learning a little from me too. So, I would like to present my screen. Okay, I'm hoping that the screen is perfectly visible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Okay, so the topic for today is importance of communication and etiquettes for employability. Now, before understanding the word employability, let us understand the first half of the topic that talks about communication and etiquettes. As we know that communication is extremely important to create a healthy atmosphere, whether in our personal lives or professional life. Everything starts with communication, and the relationship, the personal and the professional relationship also ends with lack of communication or communication gap. Now, talking about NEP, talking about the new policies that have been introduced by Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi, we need to understand that there was a time when colleges were opened to give admission, to take care of students' studies, and after that nobody used to think what is happening with the students. But with the latest NEP policies, the accreditation programs, the things have completely changed. How the things have completely changed? Now, our government, now the regulatory authorities, they are interested in the quality of students that we are producing. When we talk about the quality of students that we are producing, what is the parameter that judges what is the quality of the student that is required, which is the end result? How do we come to know whether the students that we are producing from our respective institute, whether they have maintained some quality or not? So firstly, I would like to thank PM Modi. I would like to thank the AICTE team, the way they are working in collaboration. All the... Okay, can you please...
I will mute it, ma'am. Don't worry. Okay, you can continue, ma'am.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. So we were talking about the role of AICTE in quality and education. Before we get into it, let us understand what is the outcome of the session. At the end of the session, what are the things that I'm expecting I will be able to deliver to you people? The first is understanding importance of communication and its etiquettes. All of we are pretty engaged in these things. We are engaged in communication. We know what etiquettes are. Second is analyzing the need and analyzing how we can fill the need. That is called the gap analysis. Third is planning activities to include above in your sessions. So what activities can we include as professors, as teachers in order to take care of communication and etiquettes that at the end serve to the placement of our students. Last is creation of activities at the end of the session. So if you will see how the session has been planned, the session has not only been planned with the lower cognition, that is understanding, the session has been planned creating in mind that we will understand the importance of communication and etiquettes. In today's class only, we will plan what extra we can give to our students, and when we enter the class, we can act on it. So this session won't be giving you a theoretical pyramid of how to communicate or what are the etiquettes. The class will at the end help you to act on it and make some changes in your lesson plan so that your students become placeable or employable. So first is need gap analysis. Why are we talking about quality? Why are we talking about communication? What is the role of etiquettes? Why is not theoretical knowledge enough for our students? We need to understand. The major aim of any institute is to teach the students. The reason behind teaching is to make them placeable. So how can you make them placeable? The only thing that can help you to make them placeable is bridging the gap between academia and industry. Now, what do I mean by bridging the gap between academia and industry? We need to understand that the industry has A, B, C requirements. We are teaching our students D, E, F curriculum. We need to identify what are the current industry requirements. We need to prepare our course in such a manner that the students get whatever is required by the industry they are targeting for. Now, who can do it? Who will do it for us? Again, it is the responsibility of the faculty members to, if I am teaching HR, what is required in HR industry? Are we talking about human resource information system? Are we talking about HRMS, that is human resource management system? I need to get into the depth of the syllabus, and I need to check that the courses that I am teaching my students in 3rd and 4th semester, they contribute to the industry requirements rather than teaching anything that is of no use or a little use for our students. Now, these all things, they are being promoted by accreditation programs like ISO, NIRF, NAC, NBA. If we talk about NBA, we have the course file that is P12 and P13. Okay. Now, those institutional level files, they talk about these program level files, they talk about the faculty interaction with outside world. When I say faculty interaction with outside world, it simply means that the faculty is interacting with academia, it is interacting for collaborations with other institutes so that they can get more knowledge from their counterparts, and that knowledge can be distributed and it can go in a multiple exponential. So college is encouraged by these committees as they give them marks to interact with other institutes, as they give them marks to interact with the industry too. If I talk about NAC, we have seen that research consultancy, it has been given a great weightage. When we talk about research consultancy can only be done if a faculty is now, the institute is interacting with the industry, the faculty member is interacting in the industry. When they interact with the industry, they get to know what is the current requirement of the industry. We need to identify the course gap, the syllabus gap. We need to inform the same to the affiliating university. If we are working in an autonomous institution, again, that is great because they have the liberty of adding or deleting or making modifications in their syllabus. There is one more example that can strengthen this argument. If we talk about APRC committee, that is Academic Planning and Research Review Committee. Now in this committee too, what the NBA people or what the NAC people, what they say that we need to have some industry people and educationists both in these committees so that your course outcomes can be verified. Now, in this communication topic, why am I talking about all these things? Because we should be very careful while communicating to our students. If we are communicating something that is worth making them employable, then only 39 sessions for one course, then only these kind of sessions will play an important role in making them placeable. Now, coming back to the topic, talking about communication. Now, I have been talking to a lot of industry people about communication, what is the requirement in the industry, trying to analyze what are we teaching and what is the actual requirement. The things that I have been able to zero in are the skills that are required in current time are managing up, that is managing your bosses, managing down, managing your team, clear understanding of the tasks that have been assigned to you, articulation of ideas and your thoughts, creation of SOP for a flawless execution, openness to the constructive feedback. Now, let me go to these points one by one, and then we'll be talking about how to achieve these things. When I talk about managing up, now we all are here. We are working in the middle level management. Some of us are also from the top level management, but again we have to interact with the trustees of the college, or we have to interact with the chairperson, we have to interact with the chairman, or the people who are working above us. Now, where the students are lacking in this area, I'll help you understand this with the help of an example. One of my friend, he is working with HUL as a managing director, and he was having a meeting on MS Teams, that is Microsoft Teams, and he was interacting with 200 or 300 employees at the same time. That was his team, those people who directly report to him. What I could hear in a span of one and a half hour, that he was talking more and the team members were talking less. So again, I served him tea, snacks, his meeting was over, and again being extremely curious and inquisitive in nature, once his meeting was over, I sat with him on the dining table asking what are the challenges that he's facing as a MD, what are the things that he requires from the people who are being employed, and lastly, I was more interested in asking to him whether he'll be hiring people from my students from RGCMS, and what is something that he's looking for in those probable employees that today are my students. So he told that you people teach everything to the students. Conceptually, they are great. But when they are in the field, they lack few things. Now again, those few things, it was extremely interesting discussion. What are the few things that the students are lacking in? Most of the students are coming from vernacular language. They feel that if they are going to talk in their vernacular language, they won't be understood. They will be looked down. But this is again a myth. A student should be able to understand a task, whether he is talking about that task in his vernacular language or in English language is completely secondary. The targets do not get achieved by knowing more English. The targets do not get achieved by having a lot of soft skills. The targets get achieved when we are talking a lot about what we need from other people. So, a basic example, being a cultural coordinator, the students always come to me. They come to me and they say, ma'am, we need to have a traditional day in college. So when they come and they talk about a traditional day, I simply tell them, oh, you are orally telling me about having a traditional day in college. You need to come up with a proposal. Just come up with a little write-up. Write down there, date 28th November, day Saturday, lectures. There are no lectures on Saturday. On that particular Saturday, what will you be doing? We will be wearing the traditional dresses. Do you need any financial support from the college? Yes, no. If yes, what is the amount? If no, how are you managing? Are you collecting something from the students? Will you be serving snacks? Will there be a speech from somebody? Will there be a vote of thanks? I always encourage them to come with a proposal in written. This is a way to tell the students how to manage up. If you come with your business proposal, with your idea to your boss, orally or verbally, they think that you have put in a lot of less efforts. But if we teach our students how to manage up by bring something in writing, they will also think that you have made a lot of. But if we are using 80% of our sessions in conceptual reading and understanding, a lot of role plays should be included in classroom, simulate improvement, how to think activities. If students are reading something and they are vomiting the same on the answer sheet after 3 months or at the end of the semester, then it will become extremely difficult for them to trigger their thinking points in the brain. So whatever we are doing, if we are conducting a lab experiment, the same lab experiment is given during the exam, the student will not be able to trigger the brain cells. So how to think activities can be included to make sure that communication is being strengthened from their brain to their tongue. Now talking about various courses from Swayam, NPTEL, etc. They are also there which can help them to understand the importance of communication. And last is giving a lot of feedback to your students. Now, when we talk about giving feedback, I would just like to talk to you people for 2 minutes so that I understand that we are on the same page. So I would love if somebody will interact. You can even write in the chat section or you can unmute and we can talk about it. So I hope that you people also engage students in a lot of role plays. You encourage them to speak. So is the answer yes? Do you try these kind of things in your classroom sessions? Okay. So, yeah, yes, ma'am.
The activities are as a regular part of our college, but for the arts, commerce, science college, these are not conducted so field work, all major practical activities. This is the arts college teachers, those who have joined, majority of arts.
Okay, majority of arts. So they do not involve students in public speaking or coming ahead and talking about things.
No, they organize the webinars or public speaking. They give the presentation also, all these things, but not field work and practical work more.
Okay, great. So what I was coming to, I will go back to my slide in order to make you understand what kind of feedbacks are required for our students. How do we do that? Okay, so for example, if we are planning a role play for the students, how are we marking those students? How are we making sure that the particular activity that we are doing with them is making them placeable? So again, there is a method. It is a famous method. It is called creating rubrics. Now, if you will see, there is a table. Here we have the student's name. Then I have divided my rubrics into 5 parts, that is of 2 marks. So, understanding of the topic, 2 marks. Their attire, what kind of clothes they are wearing, again 2 marks. PPT as a tool, how well they have prepared their PPT. Is it legible? पढ़ी जा रही है या नहीं? Their communication skills, how well they are communicating. Do they know how to stress on a particular word or not? Then their question handling skills. Now, if a certain group of class is involved either in orals, you are taking their orals, or you are encouraging them to give a role play, or they are presenting some slides to you, how do you give them a clear feedback so their communication skills can be enhanced, so that their communication can be taken care of? professionals, now respect for each other in the organization. When we have mutual respect, we will have better inner outcome. We will talk in this. Then it improves the communication, and that communication helps everybody in the organization to give best productivity. And what organization productivity? Our organization's productivity is equal to productivity of input 1 plus productivity of input 2 plus productivity of input A. Etiquettes are important to achieve your targets. Etiquettes are important to have that blood running in the organization, wherein there is no bad blood, there are no poor relations, wherein the communication is the key. People are talking, their queries are being handled well. Now, when I talk about good etiquettes are about good manners. Now, good manners, they are not expensive. They are the guiding principle at work, which helps to make work easier. Whether we talk about our clothes, and this is extremely important for our students to learn, that if we are dressing for a particular work, the dress should be according to that particular organization and the audience in that particular place. If we are off with our dress, that means if we do not respect the culture of the place where we are heading to, people will not be involved in listening to you, in understanding you. They will be more about making opinions about you and judging you. Your attitude that you carry to your work is again extremely important. Your attitude decides how you are going to behave with your fellow workers. So again, the students are taught a lot of content related things, but talking about the positive attitude, talking about motivation, these things become scarce when we talk about the students to be the probable employable employees. Good grooming, attitude, and communication. A mix of all this makes a successful combination at a workplace. Note that one of these can substitute for competence, but lack of these can definitely derail a skilled professional. When we talk about good grooming, when you look good, when you feel you're good about yourself, these things help you to take a step further for a day. It is not about having a lot of problems in a span of 10 years, 5 years. It is the attitude. How are we dealing the routine life problems that are coming in front of us? Are we freaking out with those problems? Are we prioritizing that this thing can be dealt later? This thing is of major importance. This thing should be dealt currently. So these are the things that we need our students to learn. Now, getting a job. As I already talked about it, getting a job is first half of something. Keeping a job is another half. When I talk about getting a job, skills and experiences, they are required to get a job. It is extremely easy to land on a job, but keeping that job, being retained at that job for a longer period of time, it requires results. It requires to work with an individual. It requires you to be a sole contributor. It requires you to be a team contributor, and these skills should be invariably engrossed in our students. So simply put, the attitude one brings to office in the morning makes a difference to the quality of results you deliver. We all have dealt through it that if one thing in the morning does not fit in our routine, if we are disturbed by one thing in the morning, then it is a chain of tasks that is not running according to us the whole day. Once you get late, all your things are out of place. But if you have a right attitude, if you know how to deal with it, if you know how to prioritize, if you know how to communicate well, if the things are not running fine, things become easy for you in the workplace. pride in the job and passion for getting things done competently, invariably it is appreciated by the colleagues, it is appreciated by the clients, and it is appreciated by the bosses. We all have expectations from ourselves. We all have expectations from our colleagues, from our clients, from our bosses. But how can we make sure that the expectations are being met? The easiest way of expectations being met are that those expectations are clearly conveyed to the people who are on the other side of the table. If we are unable to communicate them what we expect from them, it will be difficult for other person to get into our skin and understand what do we want. Now, deciphering non-verbal cues. What is the meaning of deciphering non-verbal cues? What I am saying, what another person is saying, it is still easy to understand. But as we say reading between the lines, it is not only reading between the lines, it is also understanding between the words, understanding the intention of the people, what they are talking, why they are saying so, what do they need. Decoding this becomes extremely important when our student is being prepared for a particular interview. Now, how can we help our students to decipher, to decode those non-verbal cues? The first thing is research paper writing on decoding non-verbal cues. Now, you must have seen that again, I'll be talking a lot about accreditation. Being an IQAC coordinator, that is something that is always hovering on my mind. And whatever we are working, again, we are contributing to the accreditation process because that will help us to achieve the quality benchmark. The number of students who used to write research paper in the past decade and the number of students that are writing research papers in the current decade, it has a lot of gap. Now, the research paper writing was only one thing that was considered for faculty members. But these days, you will see that faculty members are taking students and co-authors and they are working together to write a good research paper that can be published either in Scopus or SCI or Web of Science or your UGC care journals. Now, when a student is writing a research paper, we might not understand the weightage of it, but he or she is reading a lot of papers. When they are reading a lot of papers, there is a lot of material that is going into their brain. There is a lot of material that is going into their mind. And when they will communicate about that thing to somebody, all those words will connect wires and they will not be short of vocabulary. They will not be short of the context that they are talking about. And this activity will help them to develop those communication skills and bring them with a lot of confidence. Classroom and group discussion activities. As teachers, we should make sure that we are speaking for 65% of the class, 65% of the time of the class, or 70-75% of the time of the class. The rest 20-25%, we should encourage our students to engage themselves in debatable topics. We as teachers should keep our open mind until and unless they feel comfortable in talking to us about the problems. Who have problems? Only those people have problems. Only those people have questions who are trying to understand. Managing a large class becomes extremely difficult. Students are sitting with their mobile phone. They have their minds on Facebook, WhatsApp, Insta. Now, when they know that at the end of the class, 20% of the time, ma'am or sir will be taking in discussing what all he or she has told in the 75% of the time, they will definitely engage in listening to you. And the base of communication is listening. The better listener they are, the better communicator or orator they will be. Making students consciously aware about their activities, it also becomes extremely important. Now, I have written here about the activity that is mind traffic light activity. So, I will just take your 2 minutes, and what I want from you people is that you sit, you take students, just manage your thoughts about what all has been taught to you or discussed in this session from last half an hour. Just think about it for 15 seconds. This small activity that we did, it helped you to bring these things that have been talked about. You can take these things to the classroom and use these things to make your students more communicative. Now, this was one small activity. The name of this activity is self-reflection technique. See, we are overloaded with distractions and information from everywhere around us. We have too much information. You take a newspaper, there are nearly 40 pages in a news. Talk about webinar, seminar, everything. You will see too much everywhere. But when you stop and when you self-reflect, you understand that there is something out of 10 things that were discussed. You are able to take 3 things or 4 things, and you make sure that those things are with you at the end of the session. Same applies to our students too. When you do this technique, when we think and we self-reflect, what was the thing that we were discussing? What are the takeaways from the thing? We understand more. We try to implement that thing in our life more. Talking about a buzzword at this period. What is the buzzword? Buzzword is the trending word. Wherever you will see, you will see empathy. There are books on empathy. There are movies on empathy. What is empathy, by the way? What is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 letter word trying to tell us? Empathy is analyzing a situation by stepping into someone else's shoes. If you were in place of that person, how would you react? When you start thinking at that manner, that is known as empathy. Now, you will be surprised to know that company policies, they have included in their code of conduct that commenting on Twitter, on social media unreasonably can cost you your job. If you are our employee, you are not allowed to be opinionated. You are not allowed to give harsh comments on whatever anybody's views are. Now, why was the need of this kind of policy being framed in either Indian scenario or in Western scenario? Because we need to understand, as we are getting our education, as we are moving, we are sensing lack of empathy in our Gen Z or in our Generation X. So what we need to talk to them regarding empathy. We need to make sure that they have empathy in them by improving their listening skills, consciously recognizing the psychological and perceptual barriers, telling them how to implement it through activities. If somebody is shouting, rather than reacting, we trying to understand that what the person is going through, what is one thing that is triggering his or her anger. It becomes extremely important for us to make our students understand this, because etiquettes are given birth through empathy. Etiquette is not something new. We as Indians, we have always had very good etiquettes, but again, lack of empathy is the very basic reason that the etiquettes are becoming delusional. So I would like to show you a video, and this is a video that I have been showing to my students. I just want to understand if you are able to hear what the video is trying to say, and I'm guaranteeing you, if you see this video, there will be some change in your life that you will be taking through after this seminar, after listening to this video. I'll just switch it on for a minute. I want to know whether you can hear what the lady is trying to say or not. Okay, can you hear the music?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce you to these 5 chairs because they are actually the real protagonists of my talk. And they have a special message to give to all of us. And the message is about what behaviors and attitudes we bring into the world in every moment. Now, to show you what I mean, I have a story to tell you from my personal life. And I was trying to build a stronger relationship with a very important person, the daughter of my partner, 20-year-old daughter. And to do that, I thought, let's have a great evening out, just the 2 girls together. And I chose a special venue, the Blue Note Jazz Club in Milan. And that night, the Manhattan Transfer, which is my favorite jazz group, were playing. So we meet, the atmosphere is fantastic, we're getting on very well. And I'm happy and being a baby boomer, loving the music. And I thought, well, is she liking it as much as I am? And so in that moment, I just turned to look at her to check. And what did I see? I saw this. She was on her iPhone. Now, how to react? I had some choices. First choice. Excuse me, what is she doing? She's on her iPhone. I spent all this time and money thinking of a fantastic evening. I bring her here, and what, after 2 minutes I take my eyes off her and she's on her phone? I mean, what is wrong with this generation? I mean, they've got an attention span of a fruit fly. Choice number 2. This was a mistake. Why did I bring her here? I mean, she's bored. She's not interested. She doesn't like the music. What was I thinking? I mean, why should she like the music? I mean, this is stuff for baby boomers. She probably thinks she's spending the evening with a dinosaur. Choice number 3. What was it? Count to 10. Take a deep breath. Don't jump to conclusions. You don't know what she's doing on her iPhone, so just relax. Take it easy. Have another drink. Choice number 4. Now, you know what's really important for me is that this evening together with her is special, that she feels that after this evening she can really open up to me, she can feel safe with me, and that I'm always an open door for her. That's what's really important for me. And I just hope it's going to happen. I just hope. Choice number 5. What's important for her? What's going on in her world right now? What's important for her? I really would love to connect to her. What do I need to do that? You know, I was having real problems trying to answer that question. And in that moment, she turned to me and she said, Louise, did you know that this is the only blue note in the whole of Europe? There's one in New York and then there's 2 in Japan, but this is the only one here in Milan. That's incredible. The Italians have got it. And she said, and I looked up the Manhattan Transfer. Do you know that they've been playing and singing together for 40 years? That's incredible. And she said, also, look. She handed me her iPhone and she sent a message out on Facebook. It said, in the Blue Note in Milan, with a Manhattan Transfer, I'm Louise, the best. Now, that was a close save. I mean, I could have really spoiled that because I could have sent her a disapproving look from this chair. And she could have started telling herself about me, things about me, like, Louise, she's controlling. So, in many sectors, I could destroy that beautiful moment that we were creating together. This is what we're doing all the time, because we're making choices about the behaviors that we bring into the world. And the choices that we make have a direct impact on the conversations that we have, the relationships that we form, and the quality of our lives in general.
Okay, so I hope that you have enjoyed the video and everybody has taken some lesson from the video that we all are baby boomers dealing with the people who are in Gen Z, how patient we have to be with them. And no matter we think that we prepare a lot for class, but again the students are busy, they are engaged in writing something, they are engaged in texting to their friends. But again, we are nobody to judge them. If they have an attention span of a fruit fly, but they listen to 10% of what you are trying to convey to them, they have 6 to 7 lectures a day, that 2 of 1.5 hour. It becomes extremely difficult to sit back and listen. It is so easy to talk, but to sit and listen, it takes a lot of patience. So if we are patient with our students, if we are good enough with them in communicating that you are valued, they will be giving good interviews, they will be employable. And on that note, if you have any questions or anything to ask, or if you want to give any feedback, so we can start.
Thank you, ma'am, for your very elaborate and informative speech on the topic. Now, I would like to request participants, if you have any query or doubt, please ask. Once again, I request participants, if you have any doubt or question,
Messages on chat. So you can unmute and you can share your experience if you wish. Hoping there is a takeaway that you have. If you can mention your takeaway in the chat, that what extra you will be doing at the end of your session. So I'll be taking it as a feedback wherein something I have been able to channelize with you people, right?
हा सर करतो वेळ सुद्धा बदलली ना आपण.
I think nobody has any doubt or question.
Yes.
The keynote speech was very informative, illustrative,
वगैरे नसतो
and the information has been given in a very simple, clear manner.
ठीक आहे 11 ते 11:30
So all of us have understood very well
हो सर.
the importance of communication and etiquettes for employability. Now, after this very useful and fruitful keynote speech, I would like to request chairperson of
तिथं
this
संख्या
national webinar, Dr. M.M. Bedkar sir, for his concluding words.
बोलतो सर.
Please, sir, welcome.
थँक्यू प्रोफेसर कराड सर,
Welcome.
ढोले मॅडम, डॉक्टर चौधरी सर, डॉक्टर विलास सोनवणे सर, डॉक्टर Ashok Kumar sir, and all the participants. After a gap of more than 1 month, we have started this webinar series. It was expected and request from the participant that the series which was continued from last 2 years, more than 2 years, it should be continued. If not possible, every Sunday. I announced on the group of the resource person, and Dr. Radhika Wadhera madam responded at first, tried to continue this series with the best beginning of this new series. The topic she has chosen, importance of communication and etiquette for employability. This is useful topic for all in all sections, because joining a duty is not important, but after that we have to keep quality work. To whom we are working, the students, they should be encouraged. As the last section, you have shown video that chair type and different situations with reference to that video. So students are having stress, as you have said, 4 to 5 hours of teaching, but we encourage them by giving them opportunity. What are the current scenario? What is the needed? So all these things are important for the students and for the teachers also to interact with the students. It was complete 1 hour, nearly 1 hour as per our schedule, and it is also ending at the same time. Thank you, madam, for your contributing your valuable time. As you are IQC member, so you are completely specifically taught about the feedback, all these things. So in future also for our NAC of the college, we will invite you again on NAC aspect of the colleges. Thank you, madam.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, and I did not expect that 56 people will come, because it was again a Saptami and Bapuji's birthday. So again, thank you so much for giving this opportunity, and we all are here to learn, and I always get inspired from the kind of consistent work that you have been doing. I have been seeing you from like past 3 years now, and it is my 4th guest session with you
Yes.
for invited talk. So thank you so much. I hope that we keep on collaborating.
Thank you,
sir.
madam.
Thank you, everyone.
After formal vote of thanks, you will leave. Okay, madam.
Yes.
Pawar sir, Karad sir.
Now, on behalf of the organizing committee of webinar series, I am here for vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank today's honorable keynote speaker, Dr. Radhika Wadhera ma'am, who has been as a keynote speaker for restarting this webinar series. And so we are very happy that it has been started with your auspicious hands and your very useful keynote speech on the occasion of Gandhi Jayanti and also Jayanti of Honorable former Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri ji. You have given very informative speech, and you have spared your precious time for enlightening us on the topic. So on behalf of the organizing committee, from the bottom of the heart, I thank you, ma'am, for your time and for your informative speech. I also thank Honorable Chairperson of this national webinar, Dr. M. Bedkar sir, for running this webinar series. And now, as it has been started on every Sunday, and it will give us feet of knowledge as it had been giving us. So thank you, sir, on behalf of the participants. I also thank participants, though there was a long gap, but even today, you have spared your time on this holiday for the restarting of this webinar series. So thank you, participants. And now, I also thank Dr. Anita Dole ma'am, who has given a very nice introduction of today's chief guest and keynote speaker. I also thank all organizing committee members for their efforts. And once again, I thank all, and I would like to notify participants, please fill feedback link to have your certificate. And with this, I declare here that today's national level webinar is over. Thanks to all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.